Good morning from Phoenix, Arizona, and welcome to the Monday Morning Huddle. Our voiceover huddle, we do this every single workday. And welcome to it. My name is Mike Hathcote. My name is Mike Hathcote, and as you all are aware, Bill DeWees will no longer be doing these webinars because he has retired from voiceover training. He's still going to be doing voiceover work on his own, and but he wants to spend some more time with his family, so he handed it off to me, which I'm eternally grateful for. So real quick before we get into the meat and taters of today's meeting or today's webinar, not a webinar, our huddle. First of all, like and subscribe, and go ahead and chime in from where you're watching or listening from. What I want you to do in the chat, and we'll get to this in a few minutes, we're going to talk about Mr. Bill DeWees. And I want you to come up with your favorite thing that Bill, your favorite piece of advice that Bill has given you to help you advance your voiceover business. I'll tell you mine as well. But first, before we get into that, I want to talk about our times that this meeting will be happening. Since I'm in Phoenix, it's a little early for me for this time, but I wanted to go ahead and jump on at that same time today, just so I didn't throw everybody completely off at the first of the week. So, like Bill mentioned on Friday, I wanted to hop on at the regular time today, but starting tomorrow, these live huddles will be at 9 a.m. Pacific. So 9 a.m. on the left coast, and you can figure out the arithmetic to get to where you are. And so that's when these are going to be starting tomorrow. Also, for those of you who are in the Voiceover Blueprint program, today starts a new live webinar schedule for our training webinars that we have one every single day, actually two on Wednesdays, but every one of those will be at 4 p.m. Pacific time every day of the week. So on Monday, we got marketing with me. Tuesday, we've got tech with Alex Dwise. Wednesday, we have Fiverr with John Drennan. Thursday, we have performance with Mary Winkle. And Friday, we have Upwork with Caleb Brick. So those are all going to be our training webinars every day, 4 p.m. Pacific time, if you're in the Voiceover Blueprint. Okay. We'll also get to some shout outs here in a minute too. So go ahead and chime in once again on the live chat. All right, let's talk about Bill DeWees. Remember to put your favorite thing that he's taught you in the chat, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But I want to tell you about mine. So when I took a break, when I first started in radio back in 1995, which is 30 years ago now, which is just crazy. I did take a little break and went off and did some skateboarding, some professional skateboarding. So when I came back into voiceover, I found Bill and quickly learned a ton because the paradigm had shifted. And so it was way different than what it was when I was in radio. And so I think my favorite thing that Bill taught me, and I'm sure he probably taught you guys all this as well, my favorite thing is the tenacity that you have to have in this industry to go out and find the work. The work is out there, but you have to dig and dig and dig and dig and find it. Whether it be email marketing or, telephone marketing or whatever, you have to put a whole lot out there to get just a little bit back. And that's something that we teach in the blueprint as well, is the law of numbers, right? The more you put out there, the higher your chances are of getting something back. And, among all the things that go into learning this business, that right there is probably the most, the thing that most people do not get. They don't realize just the amount of marketing that you have to do in this very competitive industry. So I joined the Blueprint way back in the day when it was literally it was way different than it is now. And I went through all of the training and I literally inhaled all of it. And finally, Bill started, it started working so well for me that Bill started asking me to contribute to the blueprint because who better to teach it than someone who's gone through it? And, fast forward to now, he felt like I was the right one to take it over, and I am eternally grateful. He will always be our founder here. He'll be the godfather. Yeah. And so, Bill, and he's not gone. He's just stepping away for a bit. You'll be hearing from Bill DeWees from time to time. I'm sure of it. So anyway, all right, let's get into some shout outs and go ahead and put in to the chat your favorite thing that Mr. DeWees has taught you in voiceover. Let's get after it. All right, John from Denver and Robert from well, he didn't say where, but I know where he's from. He's from Atlanta, and Robert and I are actually working on a demo together. We're working on his commercial demo so he can get out there and start getting some. Sarah from Franklin, Tennessee. Sarah, I'm from Knoxville originally, so not too far away. David says, is this going to be your regular time? Awesome. Good morning from Hamilton, Ontario. No, like I mentioned earlier, today I'm doing that just to make sure that you guys, are all aware of it. Tomorrow it'll be 9 a.m. Pacific on the regular. Johnny says, good morning from Overcast, Florida. Well, it's always sunny here. In fact, the sun is just coming up here. If I open up my blinds, yeah, it's there. Wow. Let's turn that back. Let's close the blinds a little bit. Happy top of the week from Florence, South Carolina. Well, thank you, Amisha. Good morning from Greenville, South Carolina. Kirk, what's up, Kirk? Rick says, hello from St. Paul and welcome to the new gig, Mike. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Kirk. Big shoes to fill, to be sure, but I think we can do it. Good morning from Sarah in foggy, Wisconsin. There's DeCarlos from Vegas. What's up, DeCarlos? There's Denise from Long Island. Aaron says, good morning from Como. Good morning to you, Aaron. Matt says, afternoon from Wales. Where is the best demo scripts that I can compile together for a new demo reel? Okay, good question. Okay, so this is we normally do Q&A on Fridays, but I'll answer this real quick. If you want to find good quality scripts, YouTube is a great place to go. If you go to YouTube, and I like to just get people to find scripts of, stuff that they like, products and services that they actually are into. If you drive a Honda, look for some Honda scripts. If you like to eat, Kraft mac and cheese, look for some of that. And the reason why I like those scripts is because those scripts have been written by pro copywriters because they've already been out there in the wild. Some of these quote unquote practice scripts that you can find on some of these, like the pay to plays and stuff like that, they can be a little questionable, but at least that when you go to find the ones on YouTube, those have actually passed the test and they've been out there. So you just transcribe the scripts. You can reword them a little bit if you'd like, and then just use those for your practice. All right. Peg says, good morning from Phoenix as well. Well, hey, awesome. Let's get together. I've been actually thinking about possibly doing like a Phoenix VO meetup group, because I know there's several people on here, and I know there's others who have contacted me outside of here who are locals. So maybe we should do that. Rusty says, good morning from the UP of Michigan. I'm guessing that means Upper Peninsula, but I might be wrong. Wayne says, hello from Port Orchard, Washington. Megan, good morning from Manitoba, Canada. Very chilly. Oh, I bet. It has finally warmed up here. The whole country has been on a cold snap, and it was pretty cold here. But yeah, it's finally kind of warmed up. And when I say cold for Phoenix, I mean like in the 50s. So I know we're a little spoiled, but we pay for it in the summertime. So, all right. Ariel says, oops, on the other stream. Welcome, Mike, from dark and joyous Northern California. Yep, it's just now popping up for you, I bet. Joyce says, good morning from cloudy Southfield, Michigan. Scotty, also one of our Blueprint members from Brookings, South Dakota. You can do it. It won't be easy, but stick with it. Aside from the live Facebook nuggets along the way, I'm sure he's referring to what Bill has taught him. So yes, anybody can do this job, this business, this career. Has nothing to do with your voice. In fact, one of the things that I mentioned when I first did, when I kind of guest hosted one of these webinars or one of these live huddles was the big lie, which is that you have to have a good voice to be in voiceover. And really, what is a good voice anyway? You know, you don't have to sound like Morgan Freeman. You just have to be realistic and real. You have to emote something. You have to, make people learn or buy something or be entertained or whatever, click a button. So that's what this job's all about. Has nothing to do with the tone or the quality of your voice. Professor Tracy from Rochester, Minnesota. Ethan from Toronto. Nephi from Knoxville. Go Vol, sir. By the way, Nephi, I'm finished with the documentary, and I will be probably traveling back there sometime in the summertime to actually do the premiere for my documentary that I'm working on. Let's see. Nancy in Yankton, South Dakota. Happy beginnings. Bill's best advice for me was to have the confidence to start. Just do it. Absolutely, 100%. That, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So you've got to just put yourself out there and get going. Johnny says, Bill encouraged me to take building a VO career while being a full-time parent and homeschool teacher, one bite at a time. It seems obvious, but it lifted my spirits to hear it can be done. 100%, absolutely right. In fact, the more time you can dedicate to this, the 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 quicker it will happen. Now, I'm not saying that it'll never happen if trying to do this part-time and kind of work up into it. It's just gonna take a little longer. As long as you do the right things and you follow the stuff that we teach here and the stuff in the blueprint, it will happen. But the more hours a day that you can dedicate to it, the faster it will happen for you. This sun is still coming right in on my face. I don't guess it matters though. All right. Sandra says, my favorite thing Bill taught was to just start and not wait until everything is perfect because it never will be. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Um, that is 100% right. Because yes, it'll never be perfect. You just got to, dive in and swim. All right. Darren from Rockford, Illinois, finally up early enough to tune in live. Well, luckily for you, tomorrow it's going to be later. Uh, so hopefully you'll be able to catch that one too. Denise says, Bill and the VOBP, meaning the Voiceover Blueprint, all things are possible if you're willing to show up, do the work, and trust the process. Abso-freaking-lutely. Thank you, Denise. And Denise is proof positive. I always kind of use her as an example in our Blueprint webinars that she's the first one to volunteer, to participate in whatever it is. And by the way, speaking of Voiceover Blueprint participants, I've just posted our monthly fake audition where you can win a free audio video spot for your demo. So go ahead and if you're in the Blueprint, go ahead and submit your thing for that. Corey from Whitehall, Wisconsin. Greetings, Corey. Amanda says, Bill showed me that I have what it takes to do this. Positive, encouraging, a great teacher. This is possible. Also, the launch phrase the launch phrase to get you in the right frame of mind for the read is wow. Yeah. That's what she's referring to. So basically, I think what she's referring to is we call it the launch board or the springboard, where you put extra words at the beginning of the script to kind of help your brain get into the mode of just having a conversation instead of just starting from scratch on the script. So yeah, putting some words in there like wow or hey or check this out or I want to talk to you about this thing. It actually reframes your brain and makes it think. It tricks it basically into thinking you're just having a conversation. So that's the springboard method. Robert says, not advice so much as just positivity, inspiration, and giving me the courage to put my best foot forward and allowing me to believe that if I have the right mindset, I can do or I can and will succeed. 100%. That's it. Charisse from Lancaster, California. There is room for everyone in this business. It's hard work, but so worth it. Absolutely. That is a true statement. Open to all if you're willing to work hard. This is definitely not a get rich quick scheme. So if you're willing to get in there and follow the steps that we show you and work hard, it does happen. I'm proof of that. And so many others are as well. Mike says, good morning from a cold morning in Calgary, Alberta. So appreciative of Bill's time and look forward to tuning in with you now. Thanks, Mike. Well, thank you, Mike, from one Mike to another. John says, tips to create a good sound room were indispensable. Oh, 100, absolutely. You don't always, not everyone has the means at the beginning to buy a fancy schmancy booth like what I'm sitting in now. I started in a closet right across the office here, and it served me well for many years before I splurged and went ahead and got this thing. But yeah, you can't have it. The sound quality is one of the three legs of the stool that I talked about a while back as well. So unless your sound quality is good, that three-legged stool isn't going to stand. So sound quality is very, very important. Oh, Philip says, Bill's advice, don't let anyone say you aren't ready. Amen to that, brother. JJ says, our VO ship leaves the port with our new captain. Welcome on board, Captain Mike. We appreciate your leadership. Think for yourself. Don't just accept what so-called experts tell you. Oh, I love that one, Jolie. Jolie's in the blueprint as well, and we talk about this a lot. There are a lot of voices out there, no pun intended, who kind of are fighting for your attention in this space as far as coaching goes. And lots of them are excellent, but take everything with a grain of salt and don't always believe everything you read or hear. So, and that goes for me too. I'm not saying that whatever we say here is, you should believe hook, line, and sinker. We're just going off of things that have worked for us. Not all things work for all people equally. So do some research, find what works for you. My job is to tell you what has worked for me and so many other people who are in the blueprint. And hopefully you can put that stuff to use. Kristen says, Bill taught me about new and exciting possibilities at 67. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There is no cap. There's no age cap on this business. Bill is, I believe, he's close to that age. I know he's in his mid 60s. And so he's just now hunkering down and going for it. So now that he's got more time on his hands, he's going to be focusing more of that time on his actual VO work. Jim says no sound here. I don't know, Jim. Hopefully you got that figured out, but it sounds like everybody else can hear me because everybody's posting their stuff from Bill. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Grimval VO. Sorry if I murdered that, which I probably did. Says he made the path really clear, including some of the barriers, like the law of numbers you just spoke on. Yes, big time. And there will be barriers. There will be barriers, and you just have to push through those, or seek help and guidance from others who have kind of made it past those barriers, which I am one of those. So, I've stepped on a lot of landmines. Bill stepped on a lot of landmines before that. And so our job is to help you sidestep those landmines and get further down the road. Theo says, good morning from the 22nd floor in downtown Chicago. The best and favorite Bill tip for me is using my mouth to click while recording to denote where I've made a mistake, making it easy to edit. That's great. Now, here's the thing about that. I can't make that noise, that click. I guess I can do that, but it doesn't really spike the waveform on the thing for me. So I have my handy dandy dog clicker. That's what I literally cannot record with this thing without this thing in my left hand. And I've worn this thing. It used to have a little bit of a texture to it. I've worn it down smooth, and without this thing in my left hand, I feel lost. So click it. Bruff says, oh, I'm sorry, Nick from Atlanta. Bill taught me you can start from anywhere at any time. Absolutely. No time like the present. Kirk says, Bill has shown me a structure to succeed in a very different VO marketplace from what it used to be back in the day. Oh, yeah, big time. It is not the same as it used to be even 10 years ago. Lots has changed. And so if you can navigate these changes and kind of, bounce back and forth, you can get through it. And that's what we're here to hopefully help you with. Ron says, good morning from Grand Haven, Michigan, aka Coast Guard City, USA, as designated by Congress. All right. Randy Scott, my old pal. Mike, welcome to the party. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Jim says, got you now. Okay, glad you got your sound back, Jim. Paul says, howdy, howdy, howdy from Arkansas. Tim, also a Blueprint member. Tim says, good morning from Altoona. Bill taught me you don't know what you don't know. With a background in broadcasting, I had a lot to unlearn. You and me both, brother. Starting in radio, there was a ton that I had to unlearn. Because back then, like I said, 30 years ago, when I first started in radio, you had to have that really slick, polished, announcer-y kind of sound. And that right now could not be further from the truth. People want reality. They want real people. They want conversational. They want you. They don't want this. They don't want the, hey, welcome back to the show. They don't want any of that. So yes, a lot to unlearn. Will says, Buenos dias from Beltsville, Maryland. My best advice from Bill was when I heard him say, approach the mic as if you were whispering in someone's ear. Yes, when you're doing kind of that warm, sincere, trustworthy, heartfelt kind of a read, remember COVID? We're all in this together in these unprecedented times, right? You lean into the microphone, you get close, you get up close and personal, you lower the volume of your voice, and you get right up in there. And that's how you give that good, warm, heartfelt read. Joe says, happy Monday, Mike. And all from Joe in the UK. Just popped over for a second live for the second live stream video and was wondering what was going on. Yeah. So if you're brand new to this, welcome. I don't know if you're brand new to Bill's live stream, but if you're new to the whole situation, Bill has retired from coaching and he has handed it all over to me. I guess you could call me his top student. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be going in from here on. Ralph from Fresno, good to hear from you. And there's Jolie again from almost snowy Minnesota. Great. Amisha says, the greatest advice Bill has shared that has helped me is to just do it and get started. Simple, but very inspiring and helpful. Yep. Lots of people putting that one in there. Just do it. Just do it, man. Just rip off the Band-Aid and just get out there and start. That's how you get it. Ariel says, favorite thing, definitely remembering to let go over perfection. Those early takes are full of life. Yeah. The more you kind of pour over and analyze a script, this thing on my face is really starting to, maybe if I do this. Ow. Is that any better? Nope. Oh, well. Yeah, the more you kind of overanalyze a script, I'd say probably 2, 3, maybe 4 takes is it. That's it. If you haven't gotten it by then, you're not gonna get it, and it's just gonna get worse. So, if you're doing an audition, 1 or 2, maybe 3 takes. After that, it starts to get stale, so just let it go. There's Mary. Good morning, Mike. Mary is our, performance coach on the Thursday webinar of, the Blueprint, where we let you come in and do reads and get feedback and kinda, tighten those screws on your performance skills. Gregory says, "I came into radio in 1989 during the reel-to-reel era. Yeah, glorious razor blade. Oh, wow. Splice tape and wax pencil days when I jumped into the game in 2021. Yes, when I started, it was just past that. We were actually using carts, which looked like 8 tracks, and you had to have several, in a row, and you swapped them out, as you played music. Um, we did still have some reel to reel, and so every now and then we had to use those, but most of the time it was carts, and we had just switched over to this radical technology uh, in radio, the touch screen. It had and there were these big CRT monitors, but they were touch screen, and it was the height of technology back then. And yeah, it was those were crazy days. Loretta, good morning from Crete, Illinois. Good morning to you, Loretta. All right. I'm not sure. A performing artist. I don't know what your name is, but says, "Good morning, Mike from Atlanta. Just learned from Bill humility and consistency when learning voiceover." Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it jumped on me again. Dang it. Wow, we got a lot of comments here. I'm going to try to get to all these. Let's see. Jim says voiceover Angela is in Phoenix. Okay, cool. The J Way says, "Good morning from Covington, Georgia." We got a few Georgians in today. Hey, Phil from Tokyo. Dale says, "Welcome from Drizzly, UK." I think it drizzles quite a bit there, from what I understand. Wally says, "Opening a new chapter, we thankfully move forward toward success. See you tomorrow afternoon for the morning huddle. Thanks, Mike, and thank you, Bill." Yeah, I guess it won't be morning for some of you. It'll still be morning for me, though, and everybody on the West Coast. Gregory says, "Through Bill, that GarageBand is not the best DAW for voiceover, that Adobe Audition is the way to go. Audio quality is everything. The make or break in the industry." Yeah, GarageBand is, I mean, it's not great. Let's be honest. It's not great. It's fine if you want to do voiceovers for your family, vacation movies or whatever. But yeah, Adobe Audition is probably the gold standard. Not to say that it's the only one that you should use. I mean, there are plenty of others like Twisted Wave and Reaper, Audacity, which is free. Audacity is a very stripped down DAW. But yeah, I would say that if you were to poll all voiceover talent across the universe, most of them probably use Adobe Audition. Jim says, "Good morning from Graybill, Indiana." Good morning, Jim. Jim Williams says, "Are you keeping this at 8:30?" No, I guess your sound was off when I mentioned this. 9 a.m. Pacific time, starting tomorrow. Jake says, "Good morning from Ocean City, Maryland." Good morning to you, Jake. Jason says, "Good morning from Kearney, Nebraska." Yeah, Kearney, Nebraska. "So glad you're here. Welcome, Mike. You're going to do great." Thank you, Jason, for the vote of confidence. Alexa says, "Good morning from West DFW, Mike." Thank you. I was just in DFW it was about a month ago, and that's, I think, what got me sick. For those of you who remember when I did the 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 one about being sick while I was sick, it turns out that I had COVID for the first time, and my voice was done, and for about the first 10 days of the year, I didn't do any work at all, any VO work, because my voice was trashed. So, hey, we're getting up there on the likes, by the way. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And then, of course, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, but we're getting up there on the likes. Good job. Carrie says, "Are you live every day?" Every weekday, yes. Starting tomorrow, it'll be 9 PM. I'm sorry, 9 AM Pacific time. I will be live every weekday, Monday through Friday. Jason says, "My favorite thing Bill taught me is that it is possible. I struggle so much with my confidence, but I'm making good money doing something I love now." Beautiful. That's something that Dr. Bana Parker talked about in our last month's live training event. She talked about how the self-talk in your brain can really hamstring you, and she gave a lot of really great suggestions on how to actually overcome that, because that's one of the big roadblocks is your mindset and your self-confidence. Theo says, "Mike, you've got big shoes to fill, and it looks like your feet fit." Let's all hit that like button. Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, big shoes for sure, but I think we can handle it. Igor says, "Hi, everyone. Hello, Mike. I'm not sure where you're from, but from the looks of your name on there, it looks like you're maybe from Russia or possibly the Ukraine." Uh, Coach Ariel Anderson says, "All good on sound." Okay, great. I'm glad everybody's got sound. Sorry, Jim, if you were having those issues. Yeah, everybody says the sound sounds good. Okay, so good that. Eddie says he encouraged me to just start. Billism. Um, Far more gifted and talented have not done it. Far less talented and gifted are doing it. Oh, that is gold, right? Um, it's really obviously you have to have some skill in this business, but I'll take hard work over skill and talent every day. There are plenty of people out there who are talented who don't know how to go out and actually get the work. And so that is what we teach here is not only the performance side of things, but the more important part is how do you go out and market yourself? How do you go get in front of the right people and actually get hired? And that is, that's the whole slogan of the blueprint, right? Get found, get heard, get hired. That's it. Hard work. The Joker's Wild says, "Good morning, everyone." Jim says, "Saw a jock doing his thing, with a touchscreen at NAB." Yeah, like I said, I started in '95, and right after I started is when they swapped us out and put in this new touchscreen, this fancy schmancy touchscreen, which we all had to kind of learn because we weren't switching carts anymore. We were just hitting buttons. The Joker's Wild says, "I'm relatively new to the world of voiceover and I feel lost. I joined a few Discord groups and got some better equipment, but I feel like a babe in the woods, so to speak." Yeah, it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it's like you're drinking from a fire hose. There's so much there's so much info coming at you, and it can really be confusing. What I would suggest doing is show up here every day. I'll give you as many good, honest tips as I can, and check out the blueprint because the blueprint is like a college level PhD level class on voiceover. It literally uh, I can't say enough about it, not only for myself being a product of it, but no other voiceover training program out there does what we do. With the live training webinars, every single day, the live Facebook group where I stream every job that I do live in the group, so you can watch me like a little fly on the wall, and just all the stuff that we do in there, nobody comes close. So you're in the right place. Johnny says, "I just now got selected for my first." Oh, it jumped on me. Hang on. I just now got selected for my first paid role, chanting some nonsense for animation. All right. Hey, as long as the check clears, right? As long as the check clears, who cares what the job is? I mean, to a point, but that's awesome. Congrats. Alexa says, yeah, lots of students are sick and a couple of our schools are closed in the DFW area. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that that day that I traveled back from Knoxville, I was in the airport for probably 15 hours, or either on a plane or in an airport for 15 hours. And about 2 days later, I started getting sick. That has to have been it. And she said, glad you're feeling better. I am, finally. That was the worst I've ever been sick. Oh, here's someone else from DFW. It says, "Yeah, girl Pearl says, good morning from DFW, looking for a career in VO. I'm a lady trucker, but through age, it's time to get out of the truck. Not sure where to start, but I'm here to learn. Bless you, Pearl." And I've actually worked. Who was it that I worked with? I don't know. It's probably been 2 or 3 years ago. Uh, I cannot remember his name. He was a trucker, and he actually set up a booth in his truck, in the back part of the whatever you call that, the not the camper, whatever do you call that? The little sleeping quarters behind the front seat. He had a really nice truck, and he created a recording booth in the back of his truck. So he was a younger guy, probably in his late 20s, maybe early 30s, but he was gonna do both. So, he's got a lot of time, in between jobs or whatever, and he was a long haul trucker, and he was setting up to record on the road. I thought that was brilliant. JJ Holland says, "Voiceover Blueprint is absolutely 100% worth every cent. I sometimes feel guilty that I should pay more." Hey, I'll take your money. No, I'm just kidding, JJ. I know you're a great cheerleader for the Blueprint, and it looks like, it obviously is working for you, and I appreciate that sentiment. Ariel says, "Every time I fly, I get something ugly. Sorry you were so sick." Yeah. Wow. I mean, I think next time I go to an airport, I'm gonna mask up, I'm gonna wear gloves, or I'm gonna just douse my hands in hand sanitizer the whole time, because I don't want none of that again. All right, guys, we are at the bottom of the oh, wait, here comes more comments. The back part of a semi truck or a semi tractor is called the sleeper. Yeah, the sleeper. So he had a super nice one. He had, fridge, TV, all the accoutrements, but he also set it up to record, which I thought was killer. Pearl says, "Where do you find the blueprint?" Go to thevoiceoverblueprint.com. Thevoiceoverblueprint.com. Now, there is a lot of stuff that still has Bill's info on there, because it's a lot to switch over, but all the info that that you need is there. So check it out. All right, guys, I think that's my time, but I want to pledge something to you. For those of you who are fans of Bill and are as big a fan of Bill as I am, I want to pledge to you that I will do my best to carry on his legacy of honest and actionable um, insight and advice to grow your voiceover business, because I think there is no better job in the world. And of course, if you love something that you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And so my promise to you is I'm going to continue to give you as much, um, like I said, actionable content that I can, and so that you all have, you can all live the dream. And that's basically it. Um, Ariel says, "Thanks for the great kickoff. Got to get my little off to school. Have a great Monday. Looking forward to later start." All right. Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate that. And to everyone, I will talk to you tomorrow at the later time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Break a lip.